Good morning, Cyber Warriors. Going to expand on the information that we used in the previous video about using functions and collecting information through a little while loop and then getting information about the users. So we're going to actually flip that on its ear. We talked about the good guys. Now it's time to talk about those bad guys. Let's get right to it. So just as we talked about the good users, now it's time to talk about the bad users. Now, each of the Cyber Patriot scenarios is going to have a list of authorized users. Those are going to be your good guys. Now we need to talk about those who are not authorized users, and those are your bad guys. So here we have almost exactly the same function that we had in our previous video with the good users. We're going to do a Get-BadUsers. And I'm going to show you a little something we can do with that based off of, I believe it's the PowerShell 5 video, where we're going to identify these or find that there are bad users in some local groups that we don't want them to be in. All right, so here we have, this is basically the exact same thing as we had before, except instead of it being called good users, this is going to be bad users. We're going to run this, bring it over here. And I also have a list of all of the different users available, right? So let's go ahead and do this really quickly. So now we understand which ones we have. And for our scenario for this, we're going to pretend that Mythbusters is no longer going to be on the air. So all of the Mythbusters hosts, the co-hosts, and the lead artists need to have their accounts deprovisioned on the system. So what we're going to do is we're going to call in our bad users variable. Sorry, not the variable, it's function. And we know from our previous list that Adam Savage was a co-host. We've got Jamie Heineman as a co-host, and Carrie Byron was the lead artist. So we're going to take their names from here. Adam Savage, Jamie Heineman, Carrie Byron, and that's all we're going to do with this one for right now. So you see that they're there, and then we have the different values. I was going to show you previously, and I totally forgot about that. And here's how we can pull and use those numbers and that information from the numbers. So we have our array list, right? And that array list is called what for this one, right? Bad users. And I'm going to do a square brace, and I'm going to do a number 2. See, this carries. If we do a number 0, which is the first one that we saw, that's Adam Savage. And this is how you would be able to call very specific ones out of the different array list if you know the order and the number that they're associated with. That's not the extra tricky thing that I wanted to show you. What I wanted to show you was this. And it is doing a quick for loop. And we're going to go into the Get-LocalGroup to identify all the different local groups that are there. And then dive in and look at all of the local group members where the name matches the person in question. So let's grab this bit of script. And this is building off of the PowerShell pipeline using the Get-LocalGroupMember that I have in PowerShell 5. Okay, so output from that, here we have administrators, remote management users, administrators again, remote desktop users, backup operators. Okay, so the people in question, and these are our bad users, those 3 are in those groups. So we know that at least 2 of them are in the administrators group. We know this because administrators pops up twice. So now we have to go back and take a look at those specifically. So we're going to do Get-LocalGroup, and we're going to look at the member for the group administrators. And we see in here that both Adam Savage and Jamie Heineman are both in here, and we want to make sure that they are gone. So, how do we do that? Remember how to get rid of people? Get command. We're going to look at the noun, which is local group member. So we have add, get, and remove. So we want to remove Adam Savage and Jamie Heineman. So we can do this pretty easily. So remove local group member Adam Savage. Ooh. You know what we forgot to do? We forgot to tell it which group. Group administrators. There we go. So if we take a look at this, we see that Adam is no longer there. Now we could also do a variation of the thing that we had before, and that's the foreach. User in bad users do, not do, squiggly do, and that command above, right? So we're going to do remove, actually, let's just copy it. Remove. Let's change the order of this, though. This from there, and then the member is going to be what exactly? Do you remember? Look at the line. Look at what we're looking at, and that is going to be user. And because there may not necessarily be those people in there, because we already removed Adam, Carrie certainly wasn't in there. So what do we do in order to avoid breaking our script and throwing a whole bunch of red on there? Error action, silently continue, right? Boom. So let's take a look at our Get-LocalGroupMember with the group of administrators. And there we are. We have our authorized administrators that are in there. Good to go. No longer have those people who are no longer part of the show. Oh, gosh. We have to deprovision those accounts. How do you deprovision an account? Right, so we show that Adam and Carrie and Jamie, all their accounts are enabled, so we have to disable them. So just like we did that for loop for the remove local group member, we're going to do something very similar to that as well. We're going to instead disable local user. There we go. It's really that simple. You see that their accounts are now false or disabled. So now we've identified all the things that we can do using that quick little function. Alrighty then, Cyber Warriors. What are we covering in this video? We covered the bad guys and what to do about them, how to find them in multiple groups that they could be in, how to remove those from the groups, even though I didn't show you all of them, along with also how to disable all of those accounts. What are a couple of things that you think probably could be run in a similar fashion? Like all of your admins, the ones who are supposed to be in the administrators group. Maybe you should have those defined as well. Quick, simple, easy function to create those and get those actions completed. Alrighty then. As per always, I hope you learned something. Happy hunting. And I'll see you in the next video.